Welcome everybody. I am the air quotes comedian, a man who is only here to empower people and give them the autonomy to make the decisions I want them to. And this is the Polemics, or welcome. Through no fault of my own, I am exposed to Newsmax for a short time every week, and I don't see why I should gouge my eyes out and pop my eardrums with chopsticks when I'm quite happy to go to the Newsmax studio floor with a pair of those oversized scissors from The Exorcist 3 and cut the mic cables. Before we carry on, I'd just like to point out that I don't have Ambien growing in the walls of my mansion. I apologise for this unscripted irrelevance. Newsmax is one of those open sewers of pure shit that you wouldn't dare let your children watch. A mop bucket full of cold, dirty mop water that you wouldn't let your child drink from it. A blocked urinal with spent cigarette butts in that you wouldn't let your kids swim in. Yes, what about the children? I'd have to go down there to the Newsmax studio floor. Go down there, right? Down, because that's where hell is. I'd go down there and firmly assert that they should have a break from broadcasting. And now, here we are at this bit. It was supposed to go before we carry on, to fit the call and answer dynamic of an arguing couple. Instead of arguing couple, I was going to use the word antiphony, which describes the call and answer shape of a musical piece, but I suspect most people don't even know what music is. Call, Newsmax, puke, 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 answer. Before we carry on, call, Newsmax, vomit, 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 answer. Before we carry on, call. You get the idea of how the structure is supposed to be. But during the course of writing, I learned that celebrities really only have the one excuse for the terrible things they say. I'm not, it can't be Ambien on all the answer responses, can it? That's boring. So now that celebrities have ruined this bit because of their laziness and lack of imagination, I'll just say this. Come on, celebrities, pull your finger out. And I'm not asking for better excuses, no. I just want some variety in the excuses so that I can come back to this bit at a later date and finish it up how it's supposed to be. And now here we are in a broken bit where I just blathered on for so long that I'm now going to have to remind you in an unsubtle way that in the scenarios I have described so far, I am showing so much restraint that people who know me might be worried. Cut the mic cables. There'd be another paragraph on Newsmax and how awful it is and how ultimately the course of action I would take would be as muted as the previous. But it's all fucking ruined because racist Roseanne was too bone idle to come up with a different excuse for her racism. Before we carry on, I'd just like to point out that this isn't about Newsmax, Ambien, or the racist celebrities who blame their racism on it. And you don't have to worry about me, dear viewer. I was saving it all up for the end because while you think being a captive audience to Newsmax for a short time on a weekly basis with my unenthusiastic consent would be a bad thing, it was actually worse. Now, an advert break is usually as welcome as a suicide bomber at a coat check, but in Newsmax's case, surely anything's better than the endless swill they're spewing. I confess I don't really know what the word reputable means in the context I'm about to use it, but like pornography, I know not reputable when I see it, and the adverts on Newsmax are like that. They're the adverts that are left when the grown-up companies have left due to PR concerns. Are you old? By gold. Yeah, don't put any trust in that shady nest egg you've got in the bank. Give us that and we'll give you tat. In gold form. There's some advert for a SodaStream home defense weapon on there, and coins with that cunt's face on them. I don't even like saying his name because it makes me fucking puke. So, mainly adverts preying on the vulnerable and ignorant, all well and good. But then I saw, and I wish I hadn't, but I saw it in the raw, as it aired, the horror of all horrors, existential and actual. I have, dear viewer, reached the limit of my understanding because I saw it with my own eyes, this terrible thing. It was the worst, awful it was. The horror to top all fucking absolute eldritch cosmic horror. It was terrible. It was It was so bad that I wrote this bit to make it sound like I couldn't even finish my own sentences. You know when you get a splinter right and it goes under your skin a little ways, your body's defences will put a barrier around it to protect you from infection. Well, that's what I'm going to do here, because I'm only going to say it once, the thing that I am talking about. I'll say its name and offer a brief description. Here we go. Mounted onto a plaque is Diaper Donald's face, but turned into a fish, which animates a la Big Mouth Bass when it speaks, using recordings of his voice. It's called Trumpy Trout, and the advert is this bright, gaudy... And the problem I'm having, right, it's not that this is obviously the last sign that Antichrist will rise up and make us all watch the remake of The Omen on a loop. No, it's not that this is clearly the last sign that civilization as we know it is going to collapse all the way down. No, the problem I'm having is that I can't tell if it's a joke or not. Let's play Spot the Joke. First one. I'd like to go to the Newsmax studio and cut the microphones. Second one. I'd like to go to the Newsmax studio and do things to the people there that I can't describe here without violating community standards and possibly some real laws too, whatever the fuck that means. Did you guess correctly? Let's have another go. First one. I'd like to go to Newsmax and firmly assert that they stop broadcasting. Second one. Imagine 5 knitting needles and a bag of prickly pears slightly showing from behind the community standards, protecting you from my comedy, and me going to the Newsmax news floor with those items and all the ones I can't mention and doing things I can't possibly talk about here. But with that prickly pear, you really have to, force it. That's it for this episode of the Polemics. I wrote it in one go, which explains everything, doesn't it? Don't subscribe to the channel, don't touch the buttons or share this with anyone. Mess with the metrics. That's the kinds of things I like to do.